steady leadership of our partnership with you to keep building our school. So for that, I'm going to pass the mic over to my friend Yodit, and we'll hit the next slide.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yodit Walker. I have two kids, one Morton grad who's in LaGuardia right now, and currently I have my son Desmond who's in 7th grade. And I'm here to tell you why Morton is so special. It's very special to us, to my family, to my kids, to the community. If you can go to the next slide, or I can read it from mine here. So what makes Morton special besides, it's a wonderful, it happens to be a beautiful building, the diversity, our rigorous academics, dedication to social emotional learning, opportunity for creative exploration, our amazing teachers who I love. I think they're so accessible to all of us. They're caring, they're so dedicated to each student to thrive. And the student success after 75 Morton. And they're very dedicated and committed teachers. We love them very much. And how do we do that? At 75 Morton, we recognize that every single member of our diverse student body has a unique path to follow. It's our mission to empower every student to inquire, question, create, evolve as part of the community to achieve success in high school and beyond. And they do prepare them, and I'm very proud to say my daughter, what she went through to prepare her portfolio to get into LaGuardia, if it wasn't for Morton after school, and the continuity. You have teachers in the morning, and then after school, there's a lot of continuity, and they held her hand to make sure she got her portfolio done to get to LaGuardia, and we're very grateful for that, and I wish that for every student that comes to 75 Morton. We meet, and then this is another thing that I love about Morton. Morton meets every student where they are at. Academically, there's a diverse learners, and here, if you can hit to the next slide. There's a general ed for zone school, accelerated class for kids who are performing above and beyond grade level, the ICT classes, special educations, and ELA for English, a new second language learners. So all this is in here, and these kids also learn from each other. That's the best thing. They may be in this different learning environment, but they also learn from each other. There is an opportunity for them to integrate after school, during lunch, and learn a lot from each other. This is like a UN. I love it. And then if you can, I think that's it, right? And then I'll pass it on to Robin. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Can you hear me? There we go. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, that's great. Okay, so just to reiterate what Yodit just said, 75 Morton has a diverse range of academic offerings. We're a zone school, so anybody on the west side of Manhattan can join our school. We have an accelerated program so that anybody who is at or above grade level can accelerate their education faster. We have tremendous special education resources, both in class and standalone for students that need that. We have IEP, students with IEPs can be in our multiple ICT classes per grade. We also have a 12-1 and a 12-1-1 class offering where appropriate. And we have sets and resources for students with 504s. So really any student in New York City has a place at 75 Morton. No matter what their academic level or learning level or needs are, every student in New York City has a place at 75 Morton. We also have a very high level of English language learners in our school and have E&L resources for those students as well. Now, our students come from all different backgrounds and they go to incredible places. So if you advance the slide for a second, this lists out all of the places where our students go to high school. So we have a number of students that go to schools that require auditions. LaGuardia High School, Professional Performing Arts School, as well as many others. We have students that go to, whoops, did I lose my mic? Still good? We have students that go to the consortium schools, like the Beacon School and many others. We've got students that go to dual language programs, English and Spanish being taught together in the same class. We've got students that go to screen schools, Millennium, Eleanor Roosevelt, the Lab School for Collaborative Studies, Manhattan Center for Science, Math, and Engineering, the Museum School, amongst others. And then we have a number of students that go to other ed optional and open admission schools. We're also very proud, if you'll advance the slide, of our students that go to the specialized high schools across New York City. The largest school, the largest specialized high school that draws Morton students is LaGuardia. We have a number of students that are very advanced in the performing arts and in the visual arts, and we have a number of students that go to LaGuardia every year. We also, the second highest draw for Morton students among the specialized high schools is Stuyvesant. A number of our students every year get admitted to and attend Stuyvesant High School. Brooklyn Tech has a number of students from last year's class. Bronx Science is where my son goes, and he's got other Morton classmates there at Bronx Science from prior years. We also have sent students to Brooklyn Latin, High School for Math, Science, and Engineering, and Staten Island Tech. So just like we have a diversity of students in our student body that come from a number of different places in the city, we send our students off to all different types of high schools in the city to prepare them for their careers ahead. So with that, I will pass to Jenny to talk about the next topic.
I'm the same height. Okay, can you hear me? That's good. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thanks. Okay, so I'm Jenny Young. I have a daughter here who's in 7th grade, and I want to talk a little bit about the community at this school. We have this amazing parent group that really cares about our school and is really here to kind of support each other and support all of our students. So one of the things that the other speakers talked about is that 75 Morton is a school for every child. And the school is really good at bringing the child in, supporting them both socially and emotionally, but also supporting them academically. Every single kid is challenged. And so it's not just the accelerated kids that are challenged, it's every kid. We figure out what that kid needs, and then we take them to their next level. And so we created a parent-led campaign called We Love Morton. That's our t-shirts. And we are trying to get the word out about what an amazing school this is and really talk to people and be there when people have questions. So we're doing things on social media. We're going to local elementary schools. Thank you very much for letting us talk at CB2. We're going to be talking at CB4 pretty soon. And we're really here, we're talking on applying for middle schools, that really amazing Facebook group that talks about everything. So we're just out there trying to get the word out and really talk about what an amazing place this is. We want to connect with prospective parents. If you have questions, you can email welovemorton@gmail.com. Tell us whatever your questions are, and we're going to connect you with a family that has similar questions. Or if your kid's into drama, we got a drama person. If your kid's into sports, they do sports. My kid doesn't. If you have questions about ICT, IEPs, anything, we have parents that can answer those questions. But I think the next slide is a video, right? So, but really we want you to hear from our students because our students are incredible. So next slide, please. Is this going to just play? Okay.
Oh, no, it should be fine.
Yeah, you just have to turn on your speaker.
Huh? Oh, I'm just gonna turn on my speaker.
Yeah.
Morton is not like the stereotypical middle school. It's not going to be all boys and teen girls. The students in this community is so amazing. Here, there's so many people, and everybody's so different from each other. Knowing each of them, it's like a story that's unraveling. Los profesores me ayudaron mucho con los problemas. Me han hecho sentir como parte de ellos. Como yo hablo español y soy muy diferente, pero aunque he tenido viajes y momentos donde los profesores siempre me han ayudado. I was a part of the school's Black Student Union. We made this right here. It's the program that we go to feel supported. Being there with teachers and friends has really made me grow as a person. It's opened me to new things, and I've learned a lot from it. I feel like seventh grade was definitely challenging, and I had a lot more work, but it was also really fun.
Yeah.
I've
Should I be muting myself?
No, I think I'm gonna use this. I think everybody can hear from your computer. Can you?
Okay.
Try that.
All right. I didn't know if you could hear this over there. All right.
gone to PS41 and NES Plus Sem, also PS3 for a little bit. This has been the most challenged I've been. I'm at the accelerator program at Morton, and it moves a little faster. It's a little more challenging. I have ADHD and a 504, and Morton has always made me feel really comfortable and accepted. We have this program called Manhattan Youth, and we have this club, which is like portfolio prep. I worked with someone to like help me like build my portfolio, and they gave me advice, and it really helped me getting into LaGuardia. I love Martin because of everything. There's a lot of diversity, there's a lot of new people, and the support that you have from teachers and friends. It's nice to come here. I love Warren because Warren helped me find myself and people who I enjoy to be around and help me find hobbies, and it just really made me feel more comfortable with myself. I love Warren because there are students from, I feel like, around the world. It makes you feel more connected to everyone because you're never the odd one out.
Wonderful. Yeah, how did you get that together? That's somebody.
Because really good kids. They said all these cute things and wonderful things, and then we just pulled it together in a video.
Wait, I have
think there's
to
one more. Yeah.
remute.
I don't know where the Thunderbolt came from. It was prior to us. But it's an awesome logo for sure. I think I just want to kind of reiterate, if it was hard to hear what those kids were saying, is that the kids were saying how it's challenging and it's hard, and they're working really hard. They're learning really amazing executive functioning skills in order to get themselves ready for high school. But also a lot of the things that the kids were saying is that they felt seen and they felt heard and they felt like they were in a community, and that all of the beauty of themselves was shown in the school. And so that's what I feel when I send my daughter here, is like she can be herself and she can meet other people that are similar to her and other people that are different than her, and really be able to connect. So I just want to say thank you for letting us come to your meeting. We love to give call to action for like next steps. 75 Morton, we used to have a performing arts and vocal arts teacher. We would love support in expanding that back and getting our arts program back, because that was a really huge draw. We would also love to be able to grow our screened program. In particular, we would love to be able to add an accelerated ICT class, because those kids with IEPs are just as smart, and we'd love to be able to support them. And if there are kids that need the accelerated programs, we'd love to be able to support all of the kids that need that. We would also be really interested in bringing additional programs to our schools. Like we said, we support everybody. We would love to have an ASD Nest program. We know that D2 has a lot of people that would qualify for ASD Nest, and there aren't enough spots, and this would be a great place for that. This is a really welcoming community. Also, we have a lot of dual language kids, a lot of kids where maybe Spanish is their first language. We would love to have a dual language program here. And then the last thing is, we would just love for people to understand Morton's strength and really like highlight in a positive light all the beautiful things that are Morton. So if you watch this video and you're like, whoa, this is an amazing place, like please share it with your friends, share it with your families. If you hear people say, oh, I don't know about that school, you'd be like, wait a minute, I heard the best presentation ever. You should send your kid here. So we're just really asking for help at really like uplifting the great things that is this school. Thank you.
I have so many.
Wow.
Mic check, mic check.
Hi, everybody. Is it on? Hello, hello. I'm in? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole. I'm the West Village liaison for Councilmember Eric Botcher. We were sent the wonderful 75 Morton video, and we sent it out. I just wanted to let you guys know to all of the principals and PTA presidents in our district. So everybody has that video, and hopefully they're blasting that out to, I sent all the elementary schools. So hopefully they're getting, and I was a PS3 parent along with Patricia when Morton started. And we just remember a lot of our friends are the people that started it, and we just remember what a big deal it was, and such a great school. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely, can you hear me? Thank you for that lovely presentation. Firstly, with our committee, we take questions from our committee first before the audience. So committee, do you have any questions from this presentation?
Enrollment. Tell me about how the enrollment, I've heard it's gone up and down and too many kids and not enough kids, and what's going on with that?
Yeah, can you hear me okay? We have a strong incoming class of sixth graders. Our overall enrollment is below where it was when the school opened, but we've been through COVID and we've been through 2 different principals. But for the past 3 years, we've had an incredibly strong principal who's pulled the community together. We've got a great group of teachers that are all very well respected by the students and the parents. And we have had a tremendous amount of interest from parents in the community this fall. And we have had sold out tours for all of the tour dates that we've scheduled. We had a sold out open house. We've had to add additional tour dates because we've had such an outpouring of support from the parent community. And one of the things that we have been advocating for is, just like the admissions to our school is uncapped and anybody who wants to, who's in the zone, has a spot at our school, we also want to make sure that that's the case for all of the programs that we offer. So if we have 24 kids that are eligible for a 12 1+1 program, we want to add a second one for the class. If we have 40 kids that want to participate in our accelerated program, we will add a second class. And what we've been assured is that there will be a spot for everybody, no matter what their learning level is at our school. So if there are 40 accelerated students, qualified accelerated students that apply to the school next year, we'll add another class to accommodate that demand. So we will accommodate whatever demand we get from the community, and we will grow to accommodate that demand. The one other thing that I think is worth noting is we are fully compliant with the class size reduction regulations that were put in place by the DOE. So there is no class at 75 Morton that has more than 23 students in it. My son's 7th grade class has 19 students in it. So that's not something that you can get from any middle school. So anybody in a middle school, any 5th grader choosing a middle school who wants to have a small class size, you will have a guaranteed a small class size if you send your kids to Morton.
What do you mean strong?
Well, we don't know our incoming sixth grade class yet, but we have our current sixth graders are having a great experience. They just had their first community event last Friday. It was called Fright Night. The first event of the school year is for our sixth grade students. The second event is for our seventh grade students. We then have an event for our eighth grade students, and then we end with events that are for all of our students. So the sixth grade event was Fright Night. It's a Halloween event. It was held right here in this room. We had great turnout, and everybody was very happy with that. They're very happy. I mean, we have, I believe we have 5 sixth grade classes. Don't quote me on this because I'm not an administrator here, but I believe we have 5 sixth grade classes, and we will be able to have 7 sixth grade classes next year if that's what the demand requires, or 8 or 9. We've got the space, and we welcome all students who want to be part of our school. Please do.
So I'm Sarah, and I am primarily here because I'm a mom of a 75 Morton sixth grader. But I am also a professor. I'm a social scientist. I'm a professor at NYU, and I really love math and homework. And so, of course, you know, when choosing a school for my child, I did the homework and I looked for lots of numbers. One of the things that I came, and I have no idea why you're asking about enrollment, so this is not specific to you, but one of the things that I encountered as I was learning about 75 Morton is that some people, I think erroneously, characterize Morton as a problem. And when I dug further into that, a lot of what was underneath that was outdated information about safety, or sort of a bad vibes, right? That's not data. But what people could refer to is the low enrollment and the low enrollment from the community. And that was the way in which they would characterize Morton as a problem. And in my study of schools in District 2, as is my way when I have to make a big decision, I came to have a lot greater and richer data than just enrollment. And what I came to understand was, one, that people were looking at this enrollment number and using that as a way to characterize the school, when in fact, especially when I was looking at all sorts of other kinds of data, it seemed to be much more characteristic of the reputation of the school, which was inaccurate, and of the willingness of the neighborhood to come and enroll in that school, which is not necessarily characteristic of the school itself. And I also mentioned my profession because one of the things that I am an expert on is bigotry, how people come to hold stereotypical views and how they dispel it. And 75 years worth of social science data and experiments show that the magic to dispelling bigotry is to have diverse people come together as equals to work toward a common goal. And that is what happens here at Morton, and it does not happen at many of the other schools. Many of the other schools are actually representative of the segregated neighborhoods in which they are located, and Morton is not. And if that turns some people off from the neighborhood, that leads to lower enrollment. But that does not mean that this school is a problem. My expert opinion is that this school is a solution.
You know, I'm a professor who, I love the data. That's why when I read that strong, I go, strong's not a good word. Yeah, but I mean, for me, it, you know, I'm done. I just wanted to thank you.
Great. Is there any other question from my committee before I take questions from the audience?
Is there a, do you have any data on which elementary schools are feeding and which ones are not, to your point?
Yeah, we did look at that, and what I will say is, of the students that come from the DOE school system in elementary school, no one school feeds more than 12% of the school, which is to say, like, there's no one school which represents more than 12% of the student body of students that came from the DOE system. We get students from outside of the DOE system, but for those that came up through the DOE system, no one school represents more than 12%. Now, every year, there is, at least in the current class, the 3 grades, every grade has a different top feeder elementary school. So even this top school varies year to year and varies based on whoever chooses to come in any given year. The top feeder schools include PS3, just across the street, PS41 down the block, PS11, PS33, PS51, PS111, PS212. Those are generally the top schools that feed in here. Plus, we get a lot of students from 340. What else am I missing here? We get students from 289. That's pretty much the sort of, and that is all of the public schools that run down the west side. It's very easy to get to from those west side schools because the public buses, my children have taken the public bus across town, but the public buses that run north to south are just filled with Morton students in the morning, all commuting together, and they get dropped off right outside of our school. So it's very accessible on above ground transportation, public transportation, which is free for students, anybody up and down the west side of Manhattan.
Okay, are there any other questions from us? I have one. I would like to hear more about the call to action about the performing arts. I would, because one of our
Is it performing arts specifically? The arts programming you're looking for? So what was it before? What was it before? Like, who is the service provider?
Well, it was actually a DOE employee. Okay. So can you hear me? So we had enough enrollment that we had enough dollars to be able to pay for a performing arts teacher, and he was amazing, and he was beloved, and he was so fun, and he was so engaging, and he really taught the kids amazing things. And then because our enrollment went down, we had to decide what is the staff that we're going to be able to have to be able to support the kids with the funding that we have. So, you know, but we last year brought in Waterwell, and right, thank you. That was, I see you there. And so they
miss them at PPAS.
I know.
So much.
Yeah.
And it is very sad we don't have them anymore. You guys.
Yeah.
So
we had what didn't you
They're
want to
performing arts. I mean, my understanding is, I mean, they put on productions, right? So the model at PPAS is they are the performing arts provider, were the performing arts provider for our middle school and our drama program. Or this is like when I was coming in, so, and my kid's a vocal major, so. But they were one of our providers and our biggest provider.
Right.
And yeah.
It's shifted. And so we brought Waterwell here last year, and then they were our drama department, but we don't have the funds to do that. That came in through kind of an anonymous donor. They found a grant and blah, 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 and they came here. So we would love to be able to bring performing arts back. We would love to be able to bring any type of music program back to Morton because you know, when my daughter joined Morton, there were majors, and there was a STEM major, which we still have. We have a library arts major. Well, I guess we don't really have majors now, but we have like kind of specialty programs. But it was a very big draw to be able to have this arts focus in this middle school because a lot of middle schools don't have that. Yeah. And like Robin's point, LaGuardia is our top you know, that's like one of our top ones where you have to try out to get in. We get a lot of kids that get into LaGuardia. Well, we get a lot of kids that get into visual arts, like what Yodit's daughter got in. Well, we would love to have more kids that are getting in for the performing arts too. So I don't know, did that answer that question?
Yes.
Okay.
You did.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the audience? Maybe anyone from, no? We're good.
Here, I said I I like homework, but I didn't actually do my homework. I showed up because Erica asked me to, and in my experience, it's good to do what Erica wants you to. I'm curious why you wanted to learn more about us. I'm curious about what kind of decisions you face and what trade-offs you're facing.
I think that we wanted to learn about the school, learn about what's going on, and share that information with the people in our district, because many of us are parents here and know the struggle. Are we? No, we're not. I mean, I'm not trying to out anybody, Keen. Parents and educators. Thank you. There we go.
Yes.
We're all parents and educators, and we really have a tremendous understanding of the struggle of finding a good school, a school at all, a good fit. And so it's important information as a community board for us to share with the people living in this district.
Yes.
It's that simple. And of course, we want to support all of our district schools, but this school has the unique aspect of being our only intermediary school in the village. So it's kind of a big deal, and people need to know. That's all. We're here, and if we can advocate for an arts program, I think even better, because children should have the arts, and arts should be funded.
Partly because I'm the historic one now. 20 years ago, I was the chair of the education committee, and people said, you know, we need a middle school here. We need a middle school here. I'm a PS3 parent and all this stuff in those days. And then David Gruber got together this special task force on 75 Morton. And we met every Friday morning for 2 years trying to advocate for the school. It wasn't called 75 Morton yet. And then Community Board 2 every year has to do priority things. And we got the priority number 1 was 75 Morton. I mean, it was this school, start this school, start this school. So we sort of, you know, it took a while to even advocate. Back in the day when Chris Quinn was the Speaker of the Council, again, this is historic, she said to me, well, what do I need to do to get you to support me? And she was thinking a lot of other stuff. And I said, we need a new middle school. We need a 75 Morton. I mean, it became really, Community Board 2 really worked to get this. And now the question is, okay, now we have to support it. What's going on? We don't really know what's going on. But you should know that there's this, it's like this sleeping giant that roared and then went back to sleep. Yeah.
I have one last question. Regarding the dual language program, someone said that, can I hear more about that? What does that look like, or what do you want to know? Because, I mean, one of our purview is to advocate to our elected officials, you know, from our constituents, which is you, like, what do you need? So.
Yeah, so we have a very high percentage of our students are English language learners. We don't have data on the current class, but the most recently published data shows that 23% of our student body is English language learners. That's a high percentage for the district, high percentage for this area. We have a lot of dual language capabilities in our administration. Our principal, Claudia Wisdom Kofi, is a Spanish, she speaks Spanish and English. We have a dual language counselor. We have a dual language assistant principal. We have a lot of English language learner resource, ENL resources already in the school building. Our parent coordinator speaks Spanish as well. So we have a lot of inherent resources in the school for people that speak more than one language or people that are learning English. So it would be a natural fit for this school to have a dual language program. The school has not officially decided that that's a program that they want to advocate for yet, but it's something that has been discussed at high levels of the school as being something that we think we would be a good candidate to, a program that we would be a good candidate to bring into the district. Our principal has been a principal at a school that has a dual language component to it as well. So she's familiar with leading a school that has a dual language element to it. So this is something that's sort of, I would say, in the earlier stages of idea development. If the SLT, the school leadership team at Morton, chooses to advocate for a dual language program at the school, we would appreciate your help in advocating for that to the extent that you're able. But it's not something that the school has formally requested at this time. There are other things that we think we want to put our weight and advocacy behind. We've also talked about an ASD Nest program. That would be another area that we are sort of debating. Is that something that we want to formally request as a new program for the school or not?
Thank you.
What is necessary to bring those things to fruition?
When it comes to the council, we do not deal with programs, we deal with capital. So we work on new cafeterias, new auditoriums, new bathrooms, you know, AC. We do not work on Nest programs or it's money. It's money that if it's not coming from the DOE, it's money that has to be raised by the parents. And unfortunately, once you get out of elementary school, that's not so easy.
I would say,
But people might know a lot better than me.
yes, I do. I would say for ASD Nest, that would have to be coming through the DOE's special education office because that is not only a really specific program, it is tied to really specific funding and actually its own admissions process. It's like completely separate from the Office of Enrollment. So it's like a very specific program that is monitored, overseen, et cetera. I do agree with you though that there is significantly more demand than seats in the district, period. In terms of dual language, that would also still be through the central DOE office, but when you have enough kids that would qualify and you are programming students that are Ls, you can advocate for that. The thing about dual language though is it's only half the class are Ls, half of them are English speaking that don't know the other language. And so you need enough bodies to be able to make the program work. What we've seen a lot throughout these programs being rolled out across certain neighborhoods is that there are sometimes a lot of interest in only one side of that, but the program really doesn't work unless it sounds like this is the type of community.
What
where
is
that
the
would work.
threshold?
You need to just have 50-50. So it's basically like if you have a class of 20 kids, you need 10 on each side.
There's no minimum
It's minimum in terms of what?
of number of students.
Oh, I mean, you'd want at least, I mean, there are certain school leaders that have different opinions. Some require 2 sections per grade for it to be run effectively. Some are happy to do it in 1 class per section. It's just much harder.
No, I mean number of students.
Oh, I mean, again, it has to do with funding and teachers. So you wouldn't want too small of a class because then you wouldn't be able to pay for the teachers. So I would say like the methodology wouldn't be different than like how many sections you would be planning. It's more of just the cross section of like specialized teachers, because you need teachers that speak both languages for every subject. It's not just like adding Spanish class or like having other things throughout the day. And so it takes a bit of infrastructure. So that's why I would say it's like more than just like number of kids. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, right. I was saying sort of like I think that this school does have, from what you have anecdotally shared with me, I have not looked at your audited register data. It does seem like that would probably be a fit in terms of like the criteria that the DOE typically is looking for.
Last question. So this arts programming, is this an after-school situation, or is this incorporated into the curriculum, the day? Okay. Yeah. Because we can't advocate for teachers, right? Yeah, no, it would have to be like an after school program. All right. I think we know what we're. Yeah. A vendor. Oh, actually. That's true. Great. Thank you guys so much.
I'm sorry, do you have any involvement with the Little Island programming team? Aren't they more?
I think in early years, remember, I just took it off. Can you hear me? I think one of the first graduating classes had their graduation at Little Island when it was first started. And then I think Little Island maybe got its community. But we would love to, and we should reach back out to create that arts relationship. If anybody here is a Little Island higher up, we will take that lead.
Our parks chair.
Oh, great. We will take the introduction.
Sure.
And we'll run with it.
That was part of the deal.
Well, let's make sure they make good on it, on the deal.
And the High Line, actually.
Y'all need mics.
Poor Mark.
Sorry, Mark. I know I'm bad. What about Pier 57? Do you have any kind of relationship? Because they have so much space on the roof and there's not really, right? It's not as much. Okay.
That's CB4. CB4.
Yeah, and you're gonna.
Which we're going to talk to CB4 in a couple of weeks because our zone is Barry Park City. I think it's almost close to Lincoln Center. It's the west side, and so we're showing up everywhere we can to talk about how much we love our school. Thank you for the historical work, and sorry to tell you it's not over. We need you. We're still fighting for this school, and you've done a lot, but there's more to do, and we're glad to join the fight with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, parents. And with that, we're going to move to our second agenda item, which is Your Voice Matters. Connecting with our Community Education Council reps. And we have a few here. So I'll punt it over to Mar, and Mar will. North side. Mark. The screen went dead.
Does it need to wake up?
Doesn't. Do you want them to come to the mic? Mar?
I mean, maybe when it's time.
Oh, okay. Here's the mic. Don't want it?
So we're just going to share a brief overview of what our citywide and community education councils are and do. And really, I'm just going to read these slides. Citywide and community education councils, CCECs, are created by the state education law. There are 32 community education councils, one for each school district. There are 4 citywide councils for special education, English language learners, high schools, and District 75, and the panel for educational policy, also known as the PEP. These are all New York City's versions of local school boards. They are made up of elected and appointed members, the majority of whom are current public school parents and guardians. They are supposed to represent the voices of parents and guardians with children enrolled in New York City public schools. But they do have the power to elevate issues to the superintendent's or central NYCPS, New York City Public Schools office. These are a bunch of acronyms, and we will, when we post whatever portion of this meeting and link it to whatever resolution or report, this will be in here. CEC, Community Education Council, that's for K to 8. CCD75 is the District 75. It's for students with disabilities. CCELL, yes, you guessed right, English language learners. CCHS is for high school. CCSE is the Citywide Council on Special Education. And of course, the PEP is the Panel for Educational Policy. Each of these bodies deals with a specific aspect of the New York City public school education system. And so they're all very important and have different powers and different authority, but are mostly just advisory except for the PEP, which we will go into a little later. Anybody who is a parent or guardian of a child enrolled in a New York City public school can serve on a CEC within the district that their child is enrolled. So there are different eligibility. Again, we will be sharing this deck. I want to be, respectful of everybody's time and get into the conversation. I'm also seeing that we have some members of our local CEC here, so I really want to let them tell us in their words what the job is. And so I'm going to actually skip ahead a little bit and talk about some of the seats are appointed. So we have elections. I'm going to skip around like a crazy person. So every 2 years, it's a 2-year term on the CEC, right? We're in a middle school, so we're going to talk about the CEC. January to February is typically the application period. Our last election was in 2025, so New ones just came in. The next election will be in 2027. January to February is the application period. The voting period is April to May. June, the election results are supposed to be announced. And July is the official start of that term usually. And I say that because everybody knows anything that's supposed to happen with the DOE like June typically gets pushed around a bit and might not even happen till September. We don't know. And those appointed seats, the people that can appoint those seats are the public advocate and the borough president, whatever borough it is. Everybody else is elected by an election that is held through NICSA. Does everybody here know what NICSA is? So that is the like my student, right? It is, well, it's not technically my student, but I'm just gonna hand it over. Huh? It's like registering to vote, but you do other stuff in your NICSA account too. So it would be fantastic if any CEC members would come join us here and tell us about the CEC.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm Gavin Healy. I in my second term on the Community Education Council. I was first elected to it in 2023. Back then, I was my child was at PSIS 217 on Roosevelt Island, which is part of District 2. District 2 is very large. Our District 2 community, as opposed to the community board 2, our District 2 Community Education Council, we cover basically all of Manhattan below 59th Street, plus the Upper East Side all the way up to 96th Street and Roosevelt Island, except for a very small part of the Lower East Side and like Chinatown, which is District 1. And I think Mari said it very well. We are an advisory body, but we are sort of a conduit to the district superintendent and to the DOE. And so there's opportunities through the Community Education Council to kind of have the ear of people at the Department of Education and advocate for things like whether it's a NEST program or a dual language program at Morton, just to sort of amplify the voices of people in the district. And that's what we try to cut through some of the noise and do that. And yeah, we are 10 elected parents plus 2 for the Community Education Council, the district. It's 2 people who are appointed by the borough president. So there's also 2 people who are appointed by Borough President Mark Levine, but we are elected up.
Hi, I'm Erin Carr. I'm a newly elected member of the District 2 CEC. So I started my term in July. I got involved because another parent told me about it. And District 2 CEC had some tumultuous couple of years. And as I went back and sort of watched everything that had been going on, I saw that this was something that I really wanted to be involved with. I have personally a history of advocacy work in different areas, and my goal is to be an advocate for students first and families, but I always like to look at everything as what I believe is best for the students in the district. It's an honor to be able to serve the district and to serve the community. I think that now more than ever, boots on the ground in our own communities is essential. And, I am just so pleased to be here and to hear from you. I know that I've heard from some of you at our CEC meetings, but it's really wonderful to be here and to see the school and get a flavor of what the community is like. So thank you very much. And to know that we are here for anyone at any District 2 school who has a concern, who wants something to change at their school, that they can contact any of us really about those concerns.
Just one thing I would add is that the elections for the community education councils are usually extremely low turnout. I think in District 2, I think we had about 7% of the parents who cast ballots, which is actually for the 32 community education councils citywide, it's actually a relatively high number, and compared to the others. But so it's good to have more people sign up for the NICSA account. You can get the code from the parent coordinator and to vote, and you don't need to be registered to vote in New York State. You don't need to be a citizen. You just need to be a parent of a public school K-8 student to vote. And so I think it's really really helpful to ensure that like everybody's represented, and we're not just like a small group of people advocating for the concerns of just a small group of people. I think we did have 175 Morton parent run in this past election, so that was good. Yeah. I voted for him too.
Wonderful. When are your meetings? And then will you tell us about the different committees and what they do?
Sure. So our meetings are on the third Wednesday. Yeah, we had changed back and forth a little. So we're the third Wednesday of every month. Our next meeting is on the 19th of November. And what was the second part of the question? Committees. Oh, you're more well versed on the committees.
So I think we have one. We have a standing zoning and capital planning committee, and then in addition to that, we have a students with disabilities committee. I was the chair last term and made change this term. And we have a admissions and diversity committee, an academic affairs committee, a safety committee, and I think we resurrected our students in temporary housing committee starting this term, which did a lot of important work. I think in the past we didn't have one in the last term, so it's good to get that started again. I'm missing a committee. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I think you got all of it.
What are the two biggest issues or concerns being raised at the CEC by D2 parents today?
Well, one of the issues has been, there was talk about a merger between Salk and 75 Morton, and that has been that has had a large response from both schools in coming to speak about their very valid concerns, because they both love their individual communities and want to preserve those. And I think also it's very important to us. I mean, I say us, to Gavin and I think I can speak for, to preserve Morton as a zoned school. So that's a major concern. There have also been, what are some other big concerns? I mean, we had in the last term, there was a very contentious resolution that was passed, 248, that just, Gavin and a few other members last term were diligent about bringing back to rescind again and again, and we finally did in September, which was huge. So that was really good, because it was a resolution that was an anti-trans resolution, basically, and we wanted to make sure that every student in District 2 felt supported, felt that they had equal rights and access to all that our schools have to offer, and that's really the gist of why we felt it was so important. Those are maybe the two. I'm trying to think if there's anything else recently.
I mean, there's some of the issues are sort of perennial issues, like like some of the admissions related matters are perennial issues. I mean, parents are, I think naturally a little, they get very antsy about different admissions, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, and we've had a constant back and forth in the district about like how many, like, should we have more screened programs or should we have fewer screened programs? And that's when I first joined the council, which was during COVID. So there was still quite a bit of talk about that. It's sort of kind of fell by the wayside for a little while, but I think it's coming back, in that there are some people who want to advocate for more sort of like admissions screens, and there are some of us who would like to have it be like a little bit easier and maybe open up certain programs like acceleration to have an accelerated program in every school, but have a much more like fluid kind of way of admitting people, and not have admissions in kindergarten or fifth grade be like so high stakes, because there's time for that later. There's plenty of time for that later.
Well, how do people get in touch with the CEC?
So if you go to the CEC-D2 website, which I believe is in the deck, you can click on the council members. You can send an email to the general email address, which then will be forwarded to all of us, or you can pick a specific council member or council members and email us directly. All of our contact information is on there.
And can we ask you whatever we want?
Of course.
As long as it has to do with schools and education?
Yes.
Wonderful. Any question?
I know that in the past, there is a rep that's assigned to each school.
Yes.
Do you know who's assigned to 75 Morton?
Yes, so it's our fellow council member, Tamara Reed, and she was unfortunately very ill and could not make it this evening. I have passed her information along to Erica because she definitely wanted to get in touch with the parents who were here. And I think, is the school liaison information on our website now? It is, yeah, it's up.
Weird to stand while I'm talking to someone. Well, I actually wanted to maybe add a comment. Erin, thank you. And also it was in response to Mar's incisive question, because it actually gives me pride to hear that you felt strong response from both school communities. And just for the sake of like repeating on the record what we understand to be the case from even in the last CEC meeting, Superintendent Kelly was asked, yeah, you're right. It comes up every CEC meeting. What's going on with Salk and Morton, and that proposal is that it is on indefinite pause. And I will say two things about that discussion late spring about a potential Salk and Morton merger, which is one that I think for the Morton community, which hopefully everything you heard about what we said about who we are before is that we are inclusive and we are welcoming, and we would have been and would still be happy to have more students here with us. And that that was the overwhelming response from our parent community. I think there are very valid reasons. We all have friends parents at Salk. It is a school on the Far East Side, and we're all the way over here on the West Side. They're only in middle school, these kids. It is a big commute, like a lot of valid reasons for opposition. I think there were some reasons for opposition that were not that, and that were a bit negative. I will not repeat the negatives, but I want you to know that that's a big part of why our campaign, it lit a little fire under our butts, right? Like, oh shoot, like what's gonna happen to our school? And the results is what you heard us talk about tonight. All 100% positive. We have nothing negative to say about any other school community. We just want to make sure you know that we are real, we are alive. One of your fellow council members, I won't repeat who, said that we were a dying school, quote, dying, like failing, like just a lot of negative perceptions about us that I know you all are doing the work to, which is what we asked the CTA, like help us shift the narrative to what we really are, is we're not dying, we're alive. And that you heard from, you should hear from both school communities, strong response. And Salk is 30 years old, and there's a lot of parents and families there. We're 6, 7 years old, and yet we are showing up. We're going to fight for our school, and we want to grow our school, and that could be another school. That could be, who knows what ideas will come up. But from that idea that was proposed, we hear it's on pause. We hope they're not lying to us. You never know. We have trust issues. But that said, that's a big part of why we're doing what we're doing and why we feel we're getting a lot of positive feedback. Even Craig, CC chair, last week said, I'm hearing that you guys are really doing a lot with 5th grade recruitment right now. And I think he asked Superintendent Kelly that, which he's aware, but it's really like, it is the community, it is the parents who are doing this effort to try to make our schools stronger, increase our enrollment.
And I think it's so important, parent engagement is such a testament to the value of the school, right? And that's not to say that schools where there's low parent engagement, that they are not also valuable. But when there's a school where there's high parent involvement, high parent engagement, you know that they're there because they feel passionately about the education that they're getting. I mean, we're all here. You're here on an education committee. We're on the CEC. You're here as parents because we have, you know, a deep, we see the deep-seated value in public education, right? It is part of a value system. And I think that that's why we're all here. We have a shared goal of preserving it and strengthening it and making sure that it is accessible to every student in the district.
Well said.
Yes, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Both for coming out tonight. Thank you, parents. If there are no other questions, I just wanted to advertise our next agenda item for November. So since parents are here, we are going to hear from a former public member who was on the community board, Michael Markowitz, about 529 plans and federal FAFSA, learn the essentials of tax advantage education savings, college K through 12. And also from Emily Helmstrom, she'll give us a presentation on Literacy Academy Collective. And that's next month. That's, I believe that's November 24th. And that's our next meeting. With that, if there are no other questions, we're gonna go into business session. And with that, we can't hear from you guys, but you're welcome to stay. But that would be it for, thank you all for coming out. And thank you for hosting us at 75 Morton.
Thank you for letting us into your house.
Yes.
Good to see you. But call me.
Yeah, thank you, CEC members, for coming out too. Thank you. Oh, okay. It's off. It's off. Wait, this one's not. Yeah, I may come. We're in business session now. Keen, maybe you guys can exchange information. Bye. All right, we're in business session, and we heard that they want us to uplift the performing arts. So I think maybe we should write a resolution supporting that. And I'll send it around and get comments from everyone here. I just didn't write it up just yet. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about from hearing what the parents said? And
It seems like an idea that'll help both that supporting that program would help the kids who are here. I think it might also help with the recruiting. Right?
yes, yes.
I would just add, I think they also asked about 2 other programs that it doesn't feel like their leadership team is necessarily aligned on yet. So I feel like I agree this is the right starting place of our advocacy.
Yeah, they were clear that they weren't making any formal requests for those other programs, that,
Yeah,
but they really want
exactly.
the arts. And
100%.
for our part, we're going to, I think, probably do more of a deep dive into what we can advocate for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dean, microphone.
Right. You know, back in the day, Brad Holman was chair of CB2 when we did all this, and Brad Holman is now going to be borough president. And I mean, we have a lot of political push, you know, informal but powerful power to do something for the school.
Yes.
And Brad was one of the ones when we tried to figure out what should be the slogan to try to get 75 Morton. So, so his office can do something important here.
We'll make a list of ask for help, or at least highlight the issue too, right?
Right. You know,
Why are you kicking me?
talk about the legacy and
Stop
and
kicking me.
stuff like that.
Yes. All right.
Eric can't do anything with discretionary funding?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm gonna reach out to Nicole tomorrow and
Yeah.
find out what we're gonna do with that. Yeah.
I think it depends if they want to go with like a program versus a staff member, right? Like they can't fund a.
I heard her. I got her gist
Yeah.
on that, yeah. But if it's a program to boost enrollment or something, that might be a better way to do it.
Listen,
That we all now have our own microphone.
I mean, we could start a band.
Boy band.
Yes.
Girl-
Yeah,
It's
we're
like
starting a band.
Girl band with
It's
one.
gonna be great.
We're like the Partridge Family.
So
Did I just date myself? Like I'm trying to think like who sings in the. Which one?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. I just
My
know that
teen
that's a
is
thing.
not excited about that. Oh, are we?
We're still recording.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I mean, no. You.
But
Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
No, what I want to both.
Is there a second?
Well, I was just very impressed with those parents, weren't they?
They
Wasn't
were
that
great.
very
Okay.
impressive? And so, and which
Okay.
means you
Julia, the
guys got
second.
them to come. I
You can end the meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And